Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dylan. I am a professional realtor based in Johor, Malaysia. And on this channel, we talk about property and finance. Sometimes you get property tips and tours, sometimes you get project reviews. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. In today's video, we'll talk about Houzkey 4.0. We'll touch on the mortgage timeline, the benefits and things you should be aware of, and are you suitable for this scheme or not? Alright, let's get into it. So in case you haven't heard of Houzkey, it's a rent-to-own financing solution designed by Maybank to essentially help Malaysian buyers who is tight in cash flow in owning a new home. So just to give you a bit of context, Houzkey was launched back in November 2017, and in the beginning it was only available for Maybank staff as trial. And then they decided to offer it to the public in early 2018. The earlier version was only applicable to certain areas like KL and Selangor in collaboration with big developers such as EcoWorld, SP Setia, Masing, etc. According to the latest update, they did actually extend it to other states like Johor and Penang. You can easily find out the options on their website. I'll link it in the description down below so you can check it out afterwards. Let's talk about who is eligible for this scheme. So first of all, you have to be Malaysian, you have to be 18 years and above. The house you're applying right now with Houzkey should either be your first or second property, which means if you have more than one house already, sorry, you're not eligible. In terms of salary-wise, if you're working in Singapore, you should be earning 2,500 and above, not specified for Malaysian workers though. In the latest update. As long as your DSR can cope with the installments, I guess it should be alright. In case your individual quota is less than the requirement, this scheme actually allows you to have up to 3 guarantors to support your documents, but they are strictly limited to family members. If you're interested to know what are the documents needed for Houzkey application, link is in the description as well. You can download it for free. Now let's take a look at the timeline. Houzkey campaign period lasts for 5 years. Let's call it the trial period, where you are required to pay only for the interest known as campaign rate as rent as soon as your VP is issued. So it could go as low as 2.5% to 2.6% depending on your profile, and in the 5th year you can decide if this is the property you want to commit for an extended period of time. If yes, you can continue with Maybank with a conventional mortgage arrangement which goes up to 30 years tenure with an agreed interest rate. So if you want to go with other banks for let's say 35 years tenure or for a new interest rate, you're free to refinance the property and pay off the outstanding cost. You just have to pay for the papers such as legal fees, stamp duty and all that. So what happens if for whatever reason the property doesn't suit your living needs anymore?
No.
This is the best thing. You can literally just walk away from it after 1 year lock-in period. So you can either choose to sell it off or you can pay off the outstanding and return the property to the bank. The progressive interest payment is deferred to the 6th year, meaning to say it is added into the total outstanding of the subsequent 30 years tenure, which results into a 105% loan. So the 5% is the maximum calculated interest. It can go lower depending on the construction stage at the moment you sign your SPA. During the signing day, you are required to place an amount of rental deposit equivalent to 3 months of interest that is refundable. Say you're buying an undercom project priced at 700,000. Upon VP, there's when the payment starts. So you would take 700,000 times 2.6% interest divided by 12, and this would be the monthly payment. Triple the amount and you will get the payable security deposit. If you decided to continue with Maybank in the 5th year, your installment for the next 30 years will based on 700,000, which is the property price from 5 years ago, plus progressive interest minus developer's package, let's say 10%, which comes to 665,000, and that would be your monthly payment, 2,876. There are 5 major benefits to this scheme. Number 1, low entry cost. Under Houzkey, you get 100% financing, which means there's no down payment needed, so you don't really have to stress on the 10% cash that you usually have to prepare for home purchases. However, you are required to place 3 months deposit that is refundable. So number 2, lowest monthly payment. In the first 5 years, you're required to pay only for the interest, which can anywhere be about 30% below than what you're supposed to be paying. By that, it buys you 60 months to improve your financial capabilities. Plus, the principal money you're supposed to be paying becomes an extra cash flow for you to work with. And we have got number 3, lock-in purchase price. Hands down, one of the greatest benefits of Houzkey. It allows you to lock in the current SPA price of the property, say 3-year times till completion of the project, plus 5 years Houzkey campaign, that is 8 years. So basically, you're buying a house with the same price as 8 years ago. The best thing is, if you decided to sell the property off, you get to keep the full profit from the capital appreciation. You're only required to pay for the RPGT 5% if you're selling off after 5 years. Number 4, no progressive payment during construction. So good thing about that is, again, flexibility in cash flow. You can either park the money in FD, it gives you around 2% profit per annum, or even better, if you work with investment portfolios that gives you higher return. So then you can lump sum settle the progressive interest in the 6th year and keep the balance. Number 5, easier approval. Okay, how so? In a Houzkey application, you are not required to show your FD or savings as supportives. Also, you are allowed to have up to 3 guarantors to support your application if your net salary is below than the requirement. Easier access, great opportunity to build a good secrets record, so you can have your loan approved easier and quicker in the 6th year. If you have learned something so far, please do me a favor and smash the like button. It will really help the channel to grow. Now, let's dive straight into the precautions. Responsibility and obligations. So you might be wondering, in a rent-to-own scheme, am I an owner or am I a tenant? Both. So you are paying a rent just like a tenant, but at the same time you are held responsible like an owner. So rather than paying just Wi-Fi and utilities, you are obliged to pay all expenses and charges related to the property. That includes cukai tanah, cukai pintu, tagafu insurance, maintenance fee, and utilities upon receiving your vacant possession. Remember, it allows you to lock in the property purchase price, so it does make sense to consider yourself as an owner. Let's say if you choose to walk away from the property in the 5th year, and there are damages left unfixed in the building, the developer will actually deduct from your deposit in order to compensate for the restoration work, like the renovations or repairing, and then they will refund you the balance. And number 2, variable interest rates. So the interest rate is not fixed. It fluctuates based on the bank's base rate, BR. We call it the floating rate. We also have number 3, 1-year lock-in period. So you're only free to withdraw yourself from this scheme or sell off the property only after 1 year. Also, the first 5 years rental you're paying does not deduct the total SPA outstanding. In conclusion, Houzkey is a great tool for buyers who struggle with cash flow, and if you have no problem with that, you don't really need it. But if you want to leverage on the cash flow advantage to grow your investments portfolio, you are definitely free to do so, as long as you're careful with your cash flow planning. And that's all for today. In case I missed out on anything, feel free to leave a comment down below so we all can learn together. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new episode. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.